And so the title of this talk, Sexism Without Sexists, I thought initially should probably have a question mark at the end of it. Can we have sexism without sexists? Where does sexism reside? Does it reside in the conscious brain or in the unconscious brain? I don't know that there's a clear answer, and you certainly, if you want a clear, simple answer, you don't ask an academic, that's for sure. But hopefully we'll see if we can wade through some of the rocky ground and see if we can come to any clearer sense of whether or not we can have sexism without sexists, and whether or not, if it can exist, that is what unconscious bias. We may believe that we're quite progressive and enlightened and left-leaning or high-minded or well-educated, and we're far too sophisticated for a silly thing like sexism or bias. But in fact, we know through such wonderful wealth of cognitive science research that we often actually don't know what's going on in our brains, and what we think we're thinking is not actually what we're thinking. We are, of course, talking about unconscious biases, as Catherine described in her introduction. It has become such a buzzword in organisations over the last 4 or 5 years, and I work in that space and hear the term quite a lot. I do a lot of education for leaders around unconscious bias. And it has now kind of hopped the fence and it's jumped into public discourse more broadly. It's not actually as well understood a term as it should be. And I guess that's what's interesting about the question inherent in the title of this talk is unconscious bias sexism without sexists?